I want to show you something. This right here, we all know what this is, right? So many of you have seen this right here. I like this one because you can push it and it rolls back in. So watch this. You squeeze it like this. Great. That'll be broken about 2 weeks though. And this right here. These are things we thought were going to fix us. Smaller portions, less food, more cardio, less food. So true, right? I am just the less food, the smaller portions, more cardio, but did it work out? Oh my gosh, that's my question to you. Did it really work? No. And really not because we failed, but because everything we were told about women's bodies over the age of 40 was not right. It was a lie, or it was just not right. It was from uninformed people. We've talked in this group, we've talked about how carbs and even potatoes can actually help you lose fat if you use them the right way. We've talked about blood sugar. We've talked about insulin and how fiber slows that whole roller coaster down. We've learned a lot here, right? We've talked about lifting to build muscle and that you can't use those little baby pink weights all the time, and why the number on the scale doesn't tell the whole story, just a part of the story. But we wanted in the past, and sometimes we still want to think it tells the whole story when it doesn't. But here's the thing, ladies, we can know everything, intellectually know everything, and still not change our life. It's like I said, on this program at Bod Babes, we have nurses and we have doctors. We have lots of people in the health industry. They know more about the body than I do, and yet they're working with a certified nutritionist. They know so much more than me. Why are they here? It's not just about the knowledge. And that's why we're here tonight, right? That's what I want to speak to you ladies about. I'm going to speak from my heart, and then tonight I want you to talk to each other. So many of us have just been made to feel that our body is just the enemy, that hunger is weakness. How many of you felt like that? I have. That aging means you just decline. That gaining a few pounds just means that you're lazy. How many of you have felt like you're lazy when you gain a few pounds? You're just not doing enough. I felt that way. I felt like, man, I'm just a failure. My whole cycle of dieting was just, I was a failure. I've just been a failure. There's something wrong with me. And here's the truth. Hunger is just truly your body asking for fuel. I had a lady tell me about keto, and she said, I don't even get hungry anymore, like it was a badge of honor. And I was like, ooh, that's a bad thing. I used to not get hungry too. That meant I had muscle loss, my metabolism had slowed down, all this stuff. It's not a great thing. That's not a badge of honor. Hunger is just your body saying, feed me. You want your red light to come on. Basically, I'm relating that to your red light on your car, right? When it's low, your red light comes on. Well, when you are hungry, you should get hungry. When you have a body, you should get hungry. Now listen, muscle is your ticket to more food and less fat. And when we start eating less food and less food and even less food and stay there, the opposite happens. More fat and less muscle, right? We've been told that lie, that we should eat less and less and less and less and less till we're barely eating. We're eating like a bird. And here's another truth. You can absolutely rebuild your body and your confidence after 40, after age 50, after age 60, after age 70, even 80 and 90, though I've never met anyone that rebuilt their body after age 90, but I'm sure there are those people out there. I saw a picture of a 90-year-old man, actually a video on Facebook. He was very, very, very fit. It was cool to see. But I'm going to tell you what, this getting to our goal thing, It really only happens when we stop trying to do it alone. And I want you to hear me out on that. I want you to try something a little bit different tonight. And I want to make this more than just another Zoom where I talk and you ladies just sit and listen. That's what we do a lot. But this group right here is just so full of incredible women, women who've raised families, survived heartbreak, carried the load, and are still standing. And that is so true right here. And I want us to know each other, not just me. We've got to know each other, not just know Allie. We've got to build a strong community right here at Bod Babes where we support each other and we feel like we have somebody in our corner. And that's what I've been working on in these small groups and wanting to figure out how can we do more of this? How can we get to know each other? How can we be there for each other? We need each other more than we really understand. So in just a little bit, I want you to be brave. We're going to unmute some of you, or we're going to talk in the chat. Whatever you can do. If you can't talk on video, that's okay. But what's the one lie? This is what we want to talk about. What's the one lie you used to believe about weight loss that you now know wasn't true? What's just one lie you used to believe about weight loss that you now know wasn't true? Mine is this, that I had to eat 1,200 calories or less and do cardio. And now I know that's incorrect. It left me skinny fat. It left me miserable. So I want to hear from you ladies. What's one thing that you used to believe about weight loss that you know is a lie? Somebody speak up.
That I had to eat less calories, and I hate to say it the way you did, but I had to eat 1,000 calories or below, and I had to cardio my brains out, and I had to run a marathon in order to be skinny or in order to be fit. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah. We definitely know that's not true.
That's
right?
not true at all.
No. Who else has something to share?
I typed it, but I used to think that everything had to be fat-free and avoid carbs.
Yeah.
I did that for years and got nowhere.
Boy, that's bad. That fat-free thing is hard on your hormones after 40. Gosh, before 40, it's not quite as bad. But after 40, that low fat thing, boy, it'll get you. And then between that and the low carb, I was thinking about how that was affecting you back then because that low carb with the low, boy, it probably really did a number on your thyroid. I don't know.
Well, when I joined you, I was on 2 different thyroid medications, and now after 6 months, I'm off of them. I mean, 6 months after joining last April.
Wow. See, now that's what low fat and low carb does. So I don't have your file in front of me. And as you know, I've got to look at the file or I'm way off. But yeah, when you said that, I thought, oh, thyroid issues. Huh. Wow. And to see you come off those medicines, that's awesome. I love that.
Yes, and I stopped taking 3 different pain medications for my 2 types of arthritis.
Wow.
So I'm moving more and I'm feeling better.
And your body is rocking, girl. You look great.
I'm trying.
I saw your pictures and I was like, whoa. No, Sarita got curves in all the right places. That's good. All right. Anybody else? What lies have you believed about dieting or getting fit that you now know are untrue?
Having to push myself to eat and eating breakfast.
Yeah. So pushing yourself to eat and eating breakfast, that is a great one. How many of us thought we had to fast 12 hours, 16 hours, something like that? Yeah, you hear that a lot. But the bad thing is about it is we know that's untrue. We do want to level out our blood sugars, but dang, we got to eat some food. So what are you eating for breakfast now?
A variety of different things.
Yeah.
Meal, eggs, sausage, I cheat a little bit because I get up so early in the morning to go to the gym. So I know protein shake is not always the best, but I do a shake, but I do try to do some eggs and sausage and stuff in the morning.
I love it. Elizabeth's eating more than she had been eating for a long time, huh?
A very long time. Very, very long time.
That's neat.
So,
Now, what's happening to the shape of your body though?
um, which I actually measured a little soon. I've lost 2 inches in
That's,
less than like 3 weeks.
that's really good.
So
Eating more and losing those inches. That's so cool. That means you're losing body fat and building muscle. She works out with me in the gym and we worked hard on Friday. Whew.
we did. She kicked my butt.
I'll tell you, Friday was rough. She made it though. Michelle, what's one lie that you thought was the truth back then about dieting and getting fit?
What I was told was fat free is best.
Mhm.
Has higher calories in it than what and more salt or than anything. Now, I mean, after realizing.
I've always tried to keep the fat low on the dairy, but I have learned, ladies, listen to this, that fat-free dairy will spike your blood sugar quicker than the full fat dairy. Now, the full fat dairy has a lot of calories. So us adding fiber to it then becomes very, very important, right? Adding some blackberries or some chia seed or some flax meal or something like that becomes really important if we're going to eat a low fat dairy. But yes, that's a good one. I'm glad you shared that. You know my logic on that? Like, here's my old logic. Well, if you don't want to be fat, you shouldn't eat fat. And that's why I started eating low fat. I thought, well, fat has to be fattening. Don't eat fat. And I also, like Sarita, ate very low carb. And then I was told I had some problems with my thyroid, and I didn't realize it had to do with my food. Doctors never ever told me that. I would have never known. Anybody else? Kim, can you share a lie that you thought was the truth about weight loss and fitness?
Well, same as like everybody, like the fat free, but and also I was in like for 4 years I was a vegan, and they showed me studies and how being veganism it helps you lower your cholesterol, reverses your plaque in your arteries in your heart. So I did that for 4 years, and now I'm not a vegan. So I think this is helping me more by eating a balanced meal with meat, and so I think
Uh-huh.
that even though they showed studies, I feel like it didn't really work for me.
Yeah. Well, that is so very, very true. You know, I have a lot of women that are vegans come on here. Of course, not as many as people who just eat, normal diet, American diets, but some vegans, quite a few. And man, they've got cholesterol issues, high A1C, all these different things. Now, I'm not saying this for every vegan. I'm not. But man, you've got to really work hard to get your protein in, and it is tough. I've had women eating, some of them thought less than 30 grams of protein per day. And their calories really high, so they're overweight and their protein is low. And you can imagine when you're over 40 what that does. So it robs you of more muscle tissue, especially when you're sedentary. Your body's a mess. And somebody on the internet's going to see this and say, Allie, you're wrong,
Yeah.
or you're a liar. But I will tell you from my own personal experience, from what I see working with thousands over the years, literally thousands of women, not all of them vegans, very low number of them vegans, but I will be honest. Vegans, for the most part, their bodies are a wreck. And I can almost tell by looking at a woman over 40's body and tell you if she's vegan or not. I'll get a lot of backlash on that, but that's okay. That's my experience, right?
Well, I
Uh,
think it's because people eat a lot of processed stuff. That's when it comes into play too.
yeah.
If you eat whole food, it should be better, but Because they say that's all your protein is from those, what does gorilla eat? Grass. And they tell you that. But I think it's all that processed food, the processed meat and processed cheese, all that stuff is causing you to have, it has high fat contents and sugars and stuff. That's
Yeah,
stuff.
I agree with you right there. That's a big point. But I also had a vegan say, well, Allie, beef, cows, and they eat grass,
Yeah.
you know? But here's the thing. What if tigers just ate grass? You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what kind of animal we are. What if fish ate grass? You know? That's all they ate was grass. They should be able to survive. So the logic behind that doesn't even make sense. Thank you so much, Kim, for sharing that because that's a great one, a really good one. Thank you. This right here is why community matters. When we start speaking out like that, I was talking to a lady on a coaching call earlier, and we were talking about menopause and how it changes your mood a lot of times. That I had high anxiety, I had memory loss, foggy brain. I couldn't concentrate on hardly anything sometimes. I get cranky. Wade had to live with it. I even got really jealous at times when Wade gave me no reason. I was suspicious. And Wade gave me no reason to be that way. And she goes, I'm so glad you said that. We weren't talking about specifically the suspicious part, but we were talking about all of it. And she goes, I'm so glad you said that because, I guess she felt alone. And we just keep these things to ourselves and we think, oh, yeah, nobody else is like that. When truthfully, it sets people free when we can speak. If we can speak in a safe place, right? That's what we need. And that's what we need to be here at Bod Babes. And some of you have begun to do that. And that is a blessing. It really is because it sets you free and it sets someone else free. So I want you to leave tonight knowing this, that ladies, you are not broken. Some of us spoke up and shared our patterns and things that we thought were true that were not. It doesn't mean that we're broken. It means we were just misled, that we heard a lot of marketing and stuff that just led us down the wrong path. But here's the thing, we've got a lot of real knowledge right now, and we have a real path forward. And you've got real women on the same journey beside you. So this week, here's what I want to do. I want to do something different this week. And you guys are going to be like, oh my God, Allie told me to do this. But I remember I was afraid of rice. I will tell you, I would not eat rice. White rice, Wade ate it all the time. And I said, I cannot do that. I'm going to gain a bunch of weight if I do that. But, it was a fear food to me. I want you this week, listen to this. Your coach is telling you this. Your weight loss and muscle building coach is telling you this. I want you to eat a fear food this week. So I can't tell you when I ate white rice last. I have no idea. Has it been that long? Because it still honestly makes me feel guilty. It does. I want you to post it in our accountability group, and maybe even a picture of you eating it would be really fun. And I want you to post it in that group loud and proud. And I want you to put a hashtag there with it that says fuel, not fear. And tell us how it made you feel and how your energy changed. Or maybe you have it before a workout. If you have it before, tell us how it helped your workout. So what do you guys think? Does that scare you to eat a fear food? I want you to do it, and I want you to post a picture or something about it, at least inside that accountability group. One more thing before we go. If it's a food that is a trigger food, like for me, it would be fudge or Oreos. You don't get the whole pack of Oreos. All right. Go to the convenience store and get you a little single individual pack of the Oreos. The whole point of this is for you to not be afraid of food. Don't be afraid of it. Don't let it control you, but don't be afraid of it. You learn to control it. It doesn't control you.